You are watching the HangWith.me Showcase series, cast by myself, Totalbiscuit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SHOUTcraft right here, bringing you the HangWith.me Showcase, sponsored by HangWith.me and CynicalBrit.com. I bring you Socke, also known as Socke, who was folded, indeed, after the last particular matchup, but is looking to get a little bit starched and throw himself right back into the basket. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Socke, folks. Socke, he's in the red trunks. He's playing Protoss here on the Delta Quadrant versus his opponent, the Herojin. I'm sorry, Morrow. Never mind. Delta Quadrant. I'm sorry, stupid series. Morrow in the green trunks for Team Mouse. He is playing Zerg. He won the last match after what could be adequately described, I think, as an extremely lengthy economic game. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. Right. What do we have going on? Well, how do you assess a game like that? Well, it's extremely difficult. It's interesting to see games played on larger maps like that seem to tend to focus on the old Brood War style of play, whereby there's a lot of economy going on, there's a lot of building, a lot of bases. You know, we're not talking about 3 or 4 bases, we're talking more like 6 or 7, a lot of drop play going on. See Morrow doing exactly what he did last time, again, becoming extremely popular to do that because Socke has found him. So expanding might not even be an option. Delta Quadrant, a little bit interesting when it comes to expansion. All the way down there, a little bit of a run from the ramp, but not too big a deal. Socke, none of his craziness from earlier. We saw him actually create a wall off at his natural expansion, but bear in mind, that's because there are no ramps on Teldarim Altar. None whatsoever. So it's a case of, well, you know what, we can just take this choke point right here. Socke looks for the block as before, but that's going to have the same result as before. Morrow is already prepared for that, goes straight for the spawning pool, grabbing out some Zerglings to deal with this particular probe. In the meantime, not an awful lot going on, really. Some people might say, well, Totalbiscuit, yes, you're stating the obvious. Showing us things on the screen. Well, let me put it this way. When you watch a game on your nice 60 or 70-inch screen, when you're watching the big game, do you really want to be concentrating on the individual players and their numbers and everything that's going on? Or do you want it spoon-fed to you so that you can drink that beer and munch on that hot dog? I think you want to do the latter. And if you don't, well, you're not the kind of sports fan that I know, certainly. We in England, we're incredibly lazy, folks. We're incredibly lazy. We get very excited. We get very vocal when things happen. We start to shout. It gets extremely dramatic and emotional. However, we don't really care about the specifics, so that's the way that we like to do things downtown. Okay, Morrow. Zerglings on the way. Oh, early Stargate play right here from Socke at the back. Looks for the wall off, and of course he has one. Pretty standard. If those of you who are trying to learn Protoss would like a few tips as to how to keep the Zerglings out of your damn farm, this would be the way to do it. Get off my land. I can only imagine that, folks. I can only imagine that. Yes, they're from Cornwall. Guar fire. Yes, I think not. Stargate. Intriguing possibilities. We love the Phoenix, folks. Phoenix is a very popular unit. It's a useful unit to have. Very good against the Zerg. Tends to grab things, tends to shoot things around. Of course, you can take advantage of the fact that the Zerg lack any early anti-air, with the exception, of course, of those queens. So, it's problematic. Bear in mind, you need an evolution chamber up to get spore crawlers, and spore crawlers are not exactly what I call the most popular unit. Phoenix is on the way. Morrow looks to run the line. That's not going to succeed, as you can clearly see right here. Stalker coming out for Socke as well, no problem at all. Metabolic boost almost complete for Morrow. Morrow with not so much of an economic lead. He doesn't have it quite yet, but he will soon. Feeling pretty secure right now. Here's the evolution chamber coming up. That early evolution chamber, always nice to have. Again, costs so very little. Phoenix harassment coming in right here, though. Kills off a single Overlord. Bear in mind, though, that was scouted. He is aware of that. Not that he really needed to scout it. He's being shot by a goddamn Phoenix. Was it a hallucination? Not at 5 minutes in, it wasn't. Good lord. And also, hallucinations don't tend to hurt like hell, I tend to find. Although, some drug users might prove me wrong. Are we looking for the grab? Well, we can't, because there's only one of us. He's so lonely. He is so lonely, but he can shoot at those Overlords. Yes, indeed. He can get a little bit of harassment going on right there. Shields are up, and Socke looking for yet more nonsense. A second Phoenix on the way. There's the lair upgrade. Are we going to see spore crawlers? We are, in fact, and that makes perfect sense. Bear in mind that without those spore crawlers, the Zerg, they lack somewhat in their early game anti-air. Not exactly like Terran, where they could build a Marine. How shall I counter this? Well, I build a Marine. Okay, well, what about this? Well, I could build a Marine. Yes, I prefer battle cruisers, actually. I think the battle cruisers are the universal counter to everything. People keep telling me I'm wrong, but I can tell you for a fact that sufficient battle cruisers will, in fact, kill anything. And if they do not, then you do not have a sufficient number of battle cruisers. There's the grab, but the Spore Crawler easily repulses that particular bit of harassment. Kills a single drone. Were they worthwhile? I think in the next defense review, the Protoss might believe otherwise. A little bit of cutbacks, folks. Mothballing of the Phoenixes in favor of building hospitals and schools for the little Protoss children. Can we kill one without losing? Yes, we can. 4 Phoenixes on the field, and nonsense is abound. Right now, Zerglings look to run the line once again, and we know for a fact that's not going to work, but bear in mind that he is at least restricting where his opponent can expand. But Socke looking to grab that nice little pile of junk, taking that off to the scrappers, looking to get a fair price on it, folks, a fair price. As you'll note, the Protoss are actually significantly great bargainers, mostly due to the psychic ability. Honestly, I think they do cheat just a little bit. I personally would not bargain with the Protoss. I don't trust them, and I've also been told that if they don't like the bargain, they tend to just Psystorm you and hope for the best. It's not the best business practice, but then again, they're not really all that concerned. Phoenix is checking all over the map for sneaky expansions, spreading all over the place. They find pretty much nothing right now. Morrow is content. He is happy with what he sees right there. Zergling scouts no doubt sees the Phoenixes coming around. And we don't have any flanking attacks. Well, really, there's not an awful lot the Phoenixes can do with those Spore Crawlers in the mineral lines of both bases for Morrow. And there's the expansion coming down right here for Socke. Right now, Socke going for Colossus. No big surprise there. Colossus on the way. Colossus facility now complete. The Colossus lair, as we like to call it. The Colossus Den. How to confuse new players. Call it a Colossus Den. Right, Morrow, what do you got for us? Well, primarily focusing on Hydralisks right now, with Zerglings on the way. He does have 3 Queens as well, looking to deal with the aircraft of his opponent. But right now, no more aircraft coming out. There's the Forge coming down, looking to try and secure this area so that he can expand to his 3rd base. Interesting, note that Morrow has not expanded right now. He's not feeling like it. Hasn't found a safe place to go. He hasn't even tried to break this down right now. Looking to maybe end this on 2 bases. That is a possibility. A little bit of a run against that line proved to be completely ineffectual, as you might expect when you throw like 2 Zerglings against a large force of Stalkers, Sentries, and of course, Zealots. Can he kill one? Yes, he can. Morrow with a great number of Hydralisks right now. No Roaches, though. No Roach Warren of any description here. So, no Roach and Hydralisk play as of yet. Bear in mind, those Hydralisks will work just fine until the Colossus come out, at which point they will be kebab. And that's not the kind of thing you want to see, unless you're the Protoss player, at which point, well, it's a delicacy, folks. It is a delicacy. It is well loved by Protoss the world over. Morrow finally looking for that expansion. It's not in the back of his base right now. An interesting idea. We're going to take the gold mineral instead. Nothing wrong with that. He loves gold. He does love it. Upgrades-wise, we're seeing Grooved Spine. We've got the Overlord upgrade, so we could be seeing drop play once again once the Ventral Sacks come out. Right now, it's just the speed. There's the range upgrade and the level 1 missile attack, so relying mostly on Hydralisks and the expansion coming up right there. We've got 1 here, and we could also be looking for 1 here as well. That's already being cleaned down. He's not actually expanded to the back of his base, which is kind of interesting. Another expansion coming up for Socke as well. There you go. He takes his 3rd base, his 2nd expansion down here, and he's feeling pretty confident. He's got his Colossus up, and he does have an upgrade. That's the level 1 attack upgrade for him. And Twilight Council looking for the Blinky Blinky, as I like to call it. And maybe some of you don't like to call that. Maybe you think it's immature. And I say to you, I do not care. Morrow, you have nothing in those Overlords right now, and you have no intention of putting anything in those Overlords. I have to wonder if this is some kind of fake out. Perhaps it is right now. He's hiding his numbers, ladies and gentlemen, beneath a large cloud of Overlords. Unfortunately for him, there are 2 Colossus on the field, and while they are not upgraded, that's a lot of damage. He charges in for it nonetheless. There's no way. There's no way he's going to be able to break that, especially with excellent force field placement right there by Socke. Repulses it very well indeed, and no losses for... Oh, wow. Overlord's going to get slaughtered at this point. 1 down. Was it a fake? It possibly was. Zergling's now swarming in. How much damage is going to be able to do to those Colossus? Once again, Sentry play is excellent. It's great stuff there. The force field's correctly placed, and Morrow pushed back a 2nd time. However, bear in mind, they're still bottling Socke up and looking perhaps for another expansion. Will he do that? Not yet. Again, no Ventral Sacks upgrade, and we're not looking for that at all, but he is spreading a ton of creep, a huge amount of creep all the way over there, looking for that mobility, and he's going to get it. He is going to get it. Roach Warren on the way. Spire on the way. Of course, if he's up against those Colossus, he's going to need something a little bit less squishy. So put the Roaches at the front, see what happens. Engagement coming in right here. Not on the terms of Morrow, and Morrow's not a fan of that. Going to lose an Overlord, possibly 2. Yes, indeed we are. A little bit of supply block situation could happen right here, but it looks like he's built a few extras, so he's all good. He is prepared for a rainy day. Spore Crawlers are extremely effective against Colossus. Not amazingly so, but they will do damage to it, folks. They will do damage. It's not the kind of tactic you usually see, but there you go. Against the infamous Colossus drops. Right now, Socke's armed forces sitting on 3 Phoenix, 2 Sentry, 7 Stalker, 4 Colossus, and a single Zealot right there. And we've got 20 Hydralisks. Still no Roaches, but we should get them sooner rather than later. There's that level 2, and there's the Glial Reconstitution. So we can see a large number of those. Templar Archives on the way up for Socke right here. Still no drops from either side. Level 2 Protoss ground weapon upgrades coming in as well. No carapace upgrades, I don't think, for the Zerg. Did I miss them? No, I did not. Intriguing stuff. All about the range, folks. All about the range. No Baneling Nest up as well, but the Corruptors are on the way. As you might expect, can he take a Phoenix for free? He can! It's a cheeky snipe, ladies and gentlemen. Morrow takes it without any problems whatsoever. Socke looking in a good position right now, though. Very, very good indeed. He has a good little ball of death that he's got going on right here. Psystorm is on the way as well. Very potent weapon against those Hydralisks. A lot of damage he can inflict. Of course, any Zerglings at the front will be instantly butchered. It would be messy. More Corruptors on the way, a fairly significant margin, looking for that critical mass so that he can deal with that, and he actually has expanded to 2 gold mineral sites over here. There you go. 4 bases, 3 expansions, still not gone to the back. He's going to save that for later, and indeed, why not? If he's pushed back into his base, he's going to need that expansion. He doesn't want it mined out. It's a smart idea, folks, a smart idea. In the meantime, however, Socke is risking losing map control to his opponent right now. Bear in mind, he does have a very large armed force. A lot of damage could be inflicted if he decides to go in, and that's what he's looking for. Morrow is aware of what's coming. Does he have what he needs to counteract it? He does have the Corruptors in the air, ready to deal with it. Roaches at the front, but not a huge amount. A nice surround there by Morrow on that Immortal, and it was annihilated with no hope in the world. Socke falls back to the line. More gateways coming in right here. A very difficult base to assault. That is extremely hard to get into. Look at that. That is a maze, folks. A maze. And Zerg don't like mazes. No, they do not. Zerg Flyer attack level 1 and Zerg Missile attack level 2 almost complete right here. More Corruptors on the way. That is a lot of Corruptors. Wow. Look at that. Big numbers, folks. Big numbers. Looking for 18. Right now, Socke looks for the expansions. He doesn't know... Well, he does know about this one, but he doesn't know about this one down here. More Corruptors into the air. That Zealot will be killed very rapidly. What is Socke doing? He's just continuing to upgrade. He does have a Warp Prism on the way, so we can see some drops coming in the not-too-distant future. The Zealot will be killed. There will be no mercy given. No mercy for combatants right here. That only goes out to pilots in World War I. Not happening. No gentlemanly play. And a Zealot comes in from the side, which does pretty much nothing. Economically, Morrow has, once again, a commanding lead as a result of those gold mineral expansions. You'll notice that Socke is also attempting to take them, but he hasn't got this one right here. That has not been taken out. Right now, we see Morrow is 1 base ahead, and he... Actually, is he 1 base ahead? I don't think he is. No, he's about equal, because he hasn't taken that back base, but he has taken 2 gold minerals, so that's pretty good. However... his army count is almost max, and he's not able to mine at a significant rate right here. He transfers the drones down there. What are we seeing right here? A little bit of a Zergling attack right there. Into the middle, nothing done whatsoever. Just looking to scout more so than anything else. Keep an eye out on that Warp Prism, folks. Keep an eye on the map. See exactly where that could be going. 2 Phoenixes in the air. Seeing nothing on the map right now. What we do see is a large mobilization here from Socke, which is going to meet up a force of Corruptors, Roaches, and Hydralisks. And that's going to be messy for both sides by the looks of it. Corruptors take a huge amount of fire as they go all the way to the back. That is risky. There's the blink. Extremely risky. However, he has left his front looking a little bit vulnerable right now. There you go. Colossus annihilated. Not too many Corruptors lost in the process either. And those Hydralisks should be able to do well if they can avoid the ravening storms of those Templar. What we see around the side right here is a big flanking maneuver. The Warp Prism moving in, looking for a drop. This is quite vulnerable. It's got a single queen, and it does have a Spine Crawler coming up. And here, once again, we see another engagement. Pretty inconclusive. Will Socke continue to push forward? It is a possibility. Infestation Pit coming in right here. There's the blink. Lots of damage done to those Corruptors, but they are taking a lot of fire from the side right there from the Hydralisks. Good storms at the back. 1, 2, and 3. Cutting through them a 4th one. That line is down. Mostly Corruptors in the air. What are they going to be able to do? Not an awful lot right here. Warp Prism looking to deploy. How much damage will he be able to do to that? Not warping in anything right now, but he could reinforce his line from the back of Morrow's gold expansion right now. Socke continues to push his way in. What have we got coming up? 16, 17 more Hydralisks right here. That expansion is doomed. No real question about it. Will Morrow be able to hold that off with a spawn of Hydralisks? We're about to find that one out. Storms in the back. Yes, indeed, folks. A single Templar storming the back of that mineral line. There's an expansion down. Socke looking to make it 1-1 right here, and he's in a good position to do so. The army count is in favor of Socke. The base count is now in favor of Socke. He continues to push his way forward right here. Will Morrow in this case fold? It's looking very, very likely indeed. 17 Hydralisks are deployed. They are cut off. He needs to come in with a flanking maneuver. That's what he does. He sandwiches between them both. Will he be able to do it? He looks for it. He even brings the drones in for good measure. He's doing a good job of cutting through that force. Will he have the firepower for it? Unit count is looking good. He's looking very, very good. He continues with it. Right here, you see 17 Corruptors still in the air with absolutely no use whatsoever, and he's able to push his opponent back. That Corruptor count could prove to be critical, because unless it gets turned into something useful, bearing in mind that Socke has no intention whatsoever right now of deploying Colossus. He doesn't need it. He's relying mostly on Immortal Stalkers and those Templar. He's looking for another push right here. His army count is looking extremely strong. He's got the lead. He's got the numbers. Morrow's army is pretty damn inflexible right here. And he's able to cut it in half. He takes one. Can he take a second? No, he cannot. Backing off right there, but very little energy left on those. No, no, no. By energy, of course, I mean health. That line is going to die. It is a shooting gallery, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to build that up, but there's no way that is going to live. Socke continues his expansion. He takes map control. He's got unit control. He's got numbers control. He's got everything he could possibly need. Everything a growing Protoss needs for a great day at school, which I might add is what he's taking Morrow to right now. Oh yes, Morrow getting taken apart from multiple angles right here. His economy collapsing. His base is being torn into tiny little shreds. We're looking very, very precarious. As you will notice, his worker count is also severely lagging behind. Socke continues with his dominance. Will he be able to make that final push? Will he have the numbers for it? He certainly does. Unless he makes any mistakes right here, especially with those Corruptors able to do nothing. And it's so critical. So very critical. He looks for the Broodlords. Will he get them in time? It's looking very unlikely. Void Rays coming in to reinforce a good solid line that could very well do with, of course, some Colossus. But you know for a fact he doesn't want to do that. Storms will do the job. Storms will do the job. Following them up right there. Taking a little bit of damage on the shields as he goes. There is nothing left of that line. Good game, ladies and gentlemen. Socke equalizes 1 apiece in his best of 7 series.